something Kelsey and I look at in our book. We trace the history of popular Christian parenting practices. We discuss the key ingredients of them, and we consider the impact. And we really begin in the 1970s in American evangelicalism, looking at the ingredients that contributed to the rise of a uniquely Christian parenting book market. And Ginger is right in the heart of that because she's podcasting in 2026. She wrote her book in 2003, based it off of Shepherding a Child's Heart, which was published in the 90s. They're both very open about this. This was produced by Ted Tripp's publisher. She's straightforward that this was a companion book. And these resources rely heavily on books from the 1970s, like Bruce Ray's Withhold Not Correction, as well as Roy Lesson's How to Be the Parents of Happy and Obedient Children. You can find this one on the Internet Archive if you want. And his more provocative title for it, these books have a lot of overlap, but this one's really hard to get. You have to get it. I had to get it through interlibrary loan. Spanking, Why, When, and How. Why is that important? Well, because I think parents listening to Alex Clark and Ginger Hubbard in 2026 probably don't know that they're being served up this. And I think they should. I think they should know that this advice that is being presented as biblical and timeless is a very time-bound advice, actually, that was produced in the 70s based on a crop of what I call spanking manuals. These were manuals like Roy Lesson's Spanking, Why, When, and How, that were heavily invested on corporal punishment and that were built around ideas from nouthetic or biblical counseling. Jay Adams is the father of biblical counseling. I have a playlist on this YouTube channel talking about that a little bit. He rejected psychology and social sciences as sources of insight for Christians. He viewed the Bible as the complete and authoritative source for anything, any problem, any life problem you could ever have. They kind of viewed it like an instruction manual for life. And out of that came very prescriptive advice of how to deal with any life problems, including how to parent your children, how to get happy and obedient children. And so you will see those themes throughout nouthetic resources. I think nouthetic resources have had an outsized influence in Christian self-help because these were people writing at a moment when Christian publishing really was finding its stride, finding its market. And they were offering really appealing promises to people who loved the scriptures, devout people who wanted to please the Lord, who were saying, I have a problem in my marriage. I have a problem with my kids. Even this podcast episode, right? The mother who's overwhelmed, who wants to start over, who feels like she's made a mistake. What can you do? Here are some answers, and you can be reassured because they're biblical. Quite the claim.